Oh, it's very nice. I was thinking of trying. I think I'm gonna wear it to Christmas. It just
Yeah.
because I think I'm gonna get a kick of it. I get a story. It's like it's sponsored by Nintendo.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you hear about my podcast? Nintendo wants me on their show.
See, I did amount to something, Dad.
You said art was going to be a failure, but now I'm a famous podcaster.
The adult beverages are poured. The kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming. It's a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives.
My name is Trevor, and I have an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 13-year-old and a 10-year-old.
All right, we start off right off on the week from the Gaming Dad question from last week, which was any good game pickups for you or your kids from this Black Friday or Cyber Monday. A couple regulars wrote in, which is always great to see. We got DJ Ronnie B, Ronald Brown coming in with AC Mirage, Resident Evil 4 Remake, excellent, and Immortals of Avium for Black Friday. That's a great haul.
Yeah.
And then otherwise, Tori Shifty25, thanks so much for writing in. Too much Black Friday pickups. We're talking Final Fantasy 16, Assassin's Creed Mirage, another one for that, and Lord of the Rings Gollum. Okay, that's a weird one. I hadn't read that before.
I mean, you could start with something good and end with like something that is just playable.
It is interesting, right? To say like everybody talks about it, but to actually play the game that everybody's paying so much, that's an interesting take.
Yeah. I'm interested to hear their experience and report back on if they finish it.
Yeah. Hey, thanks so much for writing into that. This week's question, Gaming Dads, what was your favorite Nintendo game of the year? And for myself, it's kind of a toss-up between Super Mario Wonder and Super Mario RPG. I'm probably going to give it to Super Mario RPG. It was just now that I've said it out loud, I don't know if I can back that up. I'll go with Super Mario RPG. I've always wanted to beat it, and finally it's been presented in a new dad-friendly format, so just super excited to have it. I don't know if you happen to have a favorite for the year.
I do. Way back in, I think, February, Nintendo Shadow dropped Metroid Prime Remastered.
That's right.
And I love that game. I still haven't beaten it. I'm like right at the end, but it's such a clean game. And I missed it on GameCube when it came out, so it's good to get back into it. I love the Metroid series.
Perfect. So that kicks off a bit of a theme we have for this week. And for anybody who gets the pleasure of viewing this in the visual format on our YouTube channel or on our Twitch at New Dad Gaming and at New Dad Gaming Podcast, Jeff and I are wearing matching Mario shirts. We got little Yoshis popping up here. These are cozy as all heck shirts. We are incredibly grateful, incredibly thankful. Nintendo reached out to invite us to an event and sent us some swag for the week. So we got to attend Nintendo Dad's Night In. What was on the docket there, Jeff? How did this all come about?
Oh, this is great. This is our second Nintendo event. So I'm just saying we're regulars now. But Nintendo gets a bunch of gaming dads together and has they go over some of the games that Nintendo has out there. And then we have an online kind of gaming session with other Nintendo dads. So it's kind of a cool get together that Nintendo puts on. And we get to chill out with other people that are in the industry and talk about games and, play the games that we may not have played so much or had time for. So it's a good event. I don't know. I always enjoy it.
Yeah, so incredibly grateful for Nintendo. They put a fantastic event. Really great group of folks. There's a lot of the various, call it like dad gaming influencers across the spectrum. All just fantastic people. It was really an honor to be amongst them. And they just kind of walked through the slate of games, and it really inspired the question this week for what was the favorite one. Talked about Mario Wonder, talked about WarioWare, talked about Super Mario RPG. Like it was just across the board, and it was a fun event. We all got to play it. Now we all got to, after the presentation, after the discussion, everything else with that, and they invited us all to play. So it's like, hey, everybody, grab your Switch. We're doing some online matches, Dad v Dad. Let's do some Smash Brother.
Right.
I haven't played Smash Brother, Jeff, in 6+ months. The first match, like, also, like, total to be totally transparent, I've never played online,
Right.
especially not like in a
friend.
friend. Especially like in a friendly room. So the entirety of it's like, all right, guys, just grab your characters, let's go. And it's just dad stuck in a high beam. It's like, So needless to say, I ended up being Mario.
Yeah,
Just
the
'cause-
default character. Yeah, okay.
and spent the first match just basically falling off the edge. I was so like dead last. I don't think I landed a punch in. I was so confused. Kind of got my bearings at the end of it, but even with that, like, it was an absolute blast. Man, I don't know. The worst part is it's one of those things where I should have that muscle memory. I knew what I should be doing, and I just could not get the fortitude with my hands to like actually pull it off. How did you fare in your group with your gaming dads?
Well, unlike you, I represented the show in a great light and picked up. I did do like a pre-match before, so I did figure out the control scheme, but my 10-year-old came down and said, okay, Dad, you need to pick this specific character to go online with your Nintendo Dad friends out there, and it's Kirby. I'm like, I have never played Kirby, ever. But it was fun. I will just, humbly say that I dominated out there. I didn't expect to, but it was fun. Maybe I had more people that were walking off the edge, but...
That's like, well, the first part, like, I didn't understand. So like in the online match in a friend's room, when you get invited,
Yeah.
it's like a wrestling ring. And then there's on the right side, there's
The bleachers, right? Or no?
well, on the one side there's bleachers, and if you want to watch, you go in the bleachers. And then
Yeah.
on the other side, it's you
like
can
a
sit on the
runway?
sidelines, and then a runway of like, hey, I got next.
Right.
And I was so utterly confused about all of this. I got last place, so I had to sit out the next round. And I didn't know I had to go to the spectator thing. So all of a sudden, all the dads in my group hop into a match like, oh, this is great. Oh, could you believe you see this? And I had to just go along with like, yeah, you guys are doing great. Great work, everybody. Good jump. Oh, good punch.
Oh,
great
look
punch.
At that. Look at that go. Look at that Mario go.
Look at that Donkey Kong. Is one of you Donkey Kong? Okay. But despite all that, got into a few more matches. Just absolute fun. Unbelievably honored to be introduced with it. And some of the inside baseball too around how they choose partnerships for some of their products. And I think it's something that we've both seen, for instance, with their Lego collection.
Yeah, they talked about that. Yeah.
It's not just it's like, okay, you basically got to hear the reaffirmation from them that they take those type of products very seriously. And I think that's something that anybody who's picked up a Mario Lego set could vouch for, is that much like a Mario Wonder, you're not just phoning this in. Like this is something innovative. This is interesting. It's well crafted. It's thought out like thoroughly, much like a Nintendo like first party game. And it just to hear them very specifically call it out, it's like, listen, we don't just partner with things to put out like shovelware. Like content, whenever we partner with somebody to actually put out content, like it's very purposeful, and they have to kind of reach a high bar. So to hear that reaffirmation from them, I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah, and then there's a couple other good tidbits like the game vouchers. Again, any dads out there or parents out there, I thought when game vouchers came out, I'm like, oh, who's really going to buy this? It saves you a bit of money, but like you can use it for any game. But I will tell you, having 2 kids, those game vouchers around the holidays have come in quite handy. And you save a bunch of money that way. And then also they had a lot of trivia, which I don't know about you. I didn't know Pokemon trivia too much. So I'm on my Google Home broadcasting to my kids who are supposed to be sleeping what the answers are.
Hey, what's the name of this Pokemon kid? Real quick.
Exactly.
Hey, for the gaming dads at home, what is that? Honestly, I didn't know they kind of went through it. They were talking to a knowledgeable audience. What is a voucher? Like, how does that work? How does a Nintendo gaming voucher work?
Yeah, so you buy these just digital coupons, right? And it's good for a select number of games. And they're all new releases, so it's not like you're buying old games. But you'll save a bunch of money if you buy 1 or 2 packs, and then they're good for, I think, a year or 2. They do have an expiry date of some sort, but then you can use it for anything that kind of comes out throughout the year, and it will give you that just digital code, it's done, and you're good to go. So sometimes... grandpa or grandpa will give digital codes to the kids because they don't know what they want, right? So here's a free code you can use in the eShop and get the game that you want. So it's a very easy way to get any game without making a mistake.
Excellent. Okay, that is so grandma and grandpa friendly.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe. That is fantastic. And even for gaming dads too. It's like, hey, listen, like you asked for 2 or 3 titles, take your pick. Like this is a opportunity to buy whatever you like. So without having to just like shell like literal cash. So it's a bit more focused on it. Hey, so all suffice to say, Nintendo, thank you so much for the invitation. You made a couple gaming dads incredibly happy, and the event was just great. It's really good to see that as we're all bringing up our kids within gaming, that it almost feels like we have like a partner in gaming because they continue to push fun, quality, safe family stuff. So very thankful for it. Thank you, Nintendo.
Thank you so much.
Now on to the anti-Nintendo, which we will call
the other side of things. Completely
the harshest flip you could ever have from one company to another. The Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer launched at time of recording. This thing has over 114 million views. Ooh. And it was a wild one too, because I felt kind of sad. It's just modern internet. It's like the tweet comes out from Rockstar saying, hey, listen guys, it leaked. Here's the official one. Just like try to watch it on ours instead. And I'll say this, the 114 million, that's a low number, because when I did the search, it was this exact trailer, like every part of it, but by 20 different like venues.
Oh yeah.
Anybody and everybody just basically reposted this ad nauseum, like every single part of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. IGN, GameSpot, they all have their same channels with the same trailer.
So I wouldn't be surprised if it's more like 500 million at this point, literally, because
that's what 10 years is going to do to you.
Now how did you feel? So Grand Theft Auto 5, I have feelings about it as a gaming dad, because there's an entire sub-industry of shock YouTubers who love to play this game, and they'll do a bunch of Marvel superhero edits. So now they're Spider-Man, now they're the Hulk, and they're going through, or the ones where they're driving cars through the sky.
Yeah.
There's the garbage music version where I'm going to drive 6 different types of large vehicles off a ramp and just have it tumble. So all suffices that one of the problems I have with this, which is just a personal advice, is where a lot of the garbage YouTube content my kids started to get into is GTA 5 based. And I know there's a whole industry of it. I still to this day, I've never played this game. I have not played GTA 5.
You have not touched it? You're like one of 2.
There's no shade against it. I just never.
No, okay. All right.
I never came. I might even have it from Game Pass. I'm not entirely sure.
Oof, okay.
But I just kind of never touched it. I'm not sure why I never got into it. So that is my background. That is my bias when like approaching this.
Yeah.
And even still, like I have a degree of excitement because I can appreciate it from a gaming news standpoint. Like, oh my, like GTA 5 has been with us now for, has it been a decade?
It's been a decade. Like it's 2013, I think it launched. So
you know what I mean? So you mentioned gaming, and what happens is people are like, oh, like Minecraft, like Roblox, or like Fortnite, or like Grand Theft Auto 5. Like it's just become such a part of our vernacular.
Yeah.
And here we are. So this thing launches. Like what's your reaction as a gaming dad?
Yeah, so I've been with GTA for a while, like since the beginning, back in the PC days. And played GTA 5 on PS3 and then the remaster on PS4 and then stopped. But when this launched, I've kind of gotten to the age where it's like, I'm not so sure I'm like that interested in what it has to offer. I do appreciate what Rockstar does to their open world games, and they really push the envelope on what they can achieve visually, and just the technology involved in some of this stuff. Like the hair physics in this was like insane, and like that's all like in game. Like Rockstar doesn't play around, right? But what got me as a new dad was my 13-year-old is like, so we're getting this.
Oh my god. Is that so, son?
Right?
Is that so, kid? Because it's like, I don't know if you noticed, but it says like it's probably rated R.
It's
frankly.
probably rated R, and it's way more realistic than what I played back in my day, when it was just polygons. But this is something that my 13-year-old wants to play. It's due out in 2025, so 2 more years to that. They'll be 15. So yeah, it's probably a closer reality than what I would have thought. I thought I had a few years to play with this and decide on this type of game, but it might be something that I have to kind of guide. And 15 years old is like you're knee deep into a lot of this stuff. Like they're definitely aware of it. It's not a secret about like you have the clubs and all that stuff and the violence, but yeah, that'll be a conversation when that comes out, because I'm not prepared.
Like 15,
they grow up.
Yeah. I mean, 15 is... They'll definitely... If you don't get it for them, they will definitely play it at somebody's house.
Absolutely.
Like, this game is going to be in your kids' lives.
Oh, yes. For sure.
And it's almost like... It's like the cool dad who lets like the kid have the first beer with them.
Yeah.
Instead of like doing it at a party, this will be like their first Grand Theft Auto will be with you as opposed to at a friend's house. Now, real talk. Did your kids ever play GTA 5?
No.
Okay. So
weren't even interested in it either. Like their friends group are not even interested in it. Maybe they have one person that has played it, but it has never been mentioned or asked for, and I'm not aware of any playing on the side where I'm not totally aware of it.
Because my kids have asked.
Have they? Okay.
Yeah, 8 and 6. Well, again, because of that YouTube nonsense.
Oh,
like before we better lock down YouTube.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we really want to play this. And it's like, you are not seeing the majority about what this game is about.
Yeah.
And just even at this trailer even is like fairly racy, all things considered. Well, I mean, it's an adult game for adults. So like,
it really
racy.
is.
Yeah.
And Rockstar parodies everything that goes around. So this actually might be making fun of YouTubers and TikTokers, and it plays on itself. Like, what is the reality of the world, right? But it won't stop your kids from if that YouTube's not locked down, these shorts are going to be everywhere all the time.
So that it is a watershed moment. It's you could just feel the reverberations as this thing came out, because GTA 5, as I said, to play games is to understand what GTA 5 was. Again, a decade.
Yeah.
It's like three system generations, right? PlayStation 3, then 4, then 5.
Yeah.
Xbox, I imagine like the exact same thing. So like we've been here for a hot minute, and all of a sudden the next one, what theoretically could be the next decade of gaming, has been launched.
I also thought about that. I'm like, oh my God, I'll be closer to retirement when the next one comes out.
We'll be retired, and then this way we can play them all just sequentially. We'll finally have time.
There you go.
Have time.
That works.
Man, maybe that's on one of my next streams. There'll be like a gaming dad gets back to GTA 5 for the first time. First time GTA 5er.
I will watch you struggle what buttons to press. You're like, oh no, I punched that pedestrian.
What have I done now? Maybe they'll release remember when Assassin's Creed released a historical mode?
Yeah.
Maybe they'll do the same thing. So if you just want to go exist in the world, no violence, maybe they'll have a version. God, that'd actually be pretty fun.
That would be fun. You're just one of the NPCs that walks the same route just around the block, and you're like, this is a great game.
Just drives a normal car. No big deal.
Yeah, nothing.
Hey, gaming dads, what's your take on GTA 6? Are you excited for it for yourself, for your kids? Write us at newdadgaming or newdadgaming.com. And we'll wrap it up here with a recommendation from a listener, and then we actually got a quick nod from the developer themselves. So this is Immortals of Avium, and a friend of the show, Ronnie B, actually recommended to us. I think it was one of his pickups, or saying it was a great game that he was playing. So why don't you cue it up, Jeff? So the developer reached out and gave a nod, no?
Yeah, the developer Ascendant Studios said, hey, we're having this Black Friday sale. We have a demo out. Why don't you take one of your listeners' recommendations and give it a go? So I did. I booted it up on the PS5, and I will say when we were talking about visual fidelity with Grand Theft Auto 6, like this thing, whoa, it's a pretty one. Like this is a lot visually going at you. The aesthetic is very. See, now when I was playing it, it's a first person shooter. It's got magic and powers that you kind of gain, and you have to go against this. There's this other world. You're kind of like in this underworld city, and stuff happens at the beginning. I won't spoil it, but then you're chasing the people that did the thing, and you have a whole bunch of powers at your disposal. And I will say, like, it is a kind of a BioShocky kind of game to me. And when I played that, what I mean is, like, it's first person shooter. You have all these tools and things to navigate the world, and it's fun. It is fast paced. It can be pretty exciting to get into like battles and stuff, and it's kind of it's not rock paper scissors, but like certain enemies will have certain weaknesses to the powers that you have, so you have to really use strategy. You're not just, it's not like Doom where you're just shooting the same gun and like it's just a hit bar. This thing, you have to kind of throw out the right magic or the right powers to get around the enemies, so it makes you think on your feet. And again, pretty one, and it was something that I enjoyed, and I we'll give it to Ronnie B and to Ascended Studios for giving the nod. This would have something, again, that we've said on the show. Demos do a lot, especially for gaming dads, because to jump into something that we don't necessarily know, a demo can give you a good taste, and this did that. It was a good taste of what this final game could be, and I'll look forward to picking up the full game someday when the backlog is maybe a little bit more finished. It is the holidays when I have more time, right? So, but yeah, it's a good one. I will recommend anybody and go try the demo.
Yeah, I absolutely do the demo. Love that. Pick up the title. I do really appreciate when it's not that it sounds like a fantastic studio, but you buy a game from BioShock, you buy a game from Bethesda, and you expect a certain degree of polish, fidelity, fun. Like there's a certain like guarantee. You have a studio that I myself am not as familiar with. It's not necessarily as big as some of the other ones, and yet here they are. And to look at this game, if you do look it up, so Immortals Avium, like it's really stunning. Like you've said it a few times, like it is stunning. Like the world seems incredibly lived in, really well crafted. All the animations and the the battle scenes, like it's frantic and fun. The unique, like if you look at some of like the weaponry, the styling of everything. So to see a studio that you're not necessarily familiar with pop out and produce something of this caliber is always. It just gives you hope in a sense, because it just can't be Rockstar releases GTA 6, okay, and then Bethesda releases Starfield, okay. Like we can't just have a few studios doing big, huge games. Instead, you get these like crafted, excellent, innovative titles coming out there as well. So it's just always so exciting to see. So was enthused that it came across our purview. Yeah, and just was really excited too to see like it is such a fantastic title. So just one of those great games that gives you great hope for the future of gaming. We're gonna be fine.
That's right. Gonna be fine for the next 10 years, right, Trevor? Like that's gaming careers.
Yeah. All right, everybody. That wraps it up for this week. We are just coming off of that Nintendo event, which again we want to thank them for. We got our cozy lumberjack shirts with a bit of we have a massive Mario on the back of it, which cannot wait to show Yoshi in the pocket. But it also suffice to say, thank you so much for Nintendo again for the invitation. You made a couple gaming dads super happy, and a couple gaming dad kids super jealous that they weren't able to stay up for it. That's right. Gaming dad question again for this week, everybody, is what is your favorite Nintendo game from this year? 2 votes from your favorite gaming dads is Super Mario RPG and Metroid. Was it Prime, really?
Prime Remastered, yeah.
Prime Remastered. Hey, but gaming dad, what is it that you like? At New Dad Gaming, newdadgaming.com. Thanks so much. This has been New Dad Gaming. If you like the podcast, you can find us on all the major podcasting networks, including Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Caster, anywhere where you get your podcast. Just search for New Dad Gaming. If you did like the show, what really, really helps out the show is if you can subscribe on any of those platforms. Give us a quick subscription. Even better is you can give us a rating or a comment. Just helps boost the signal to other gaming dads. You can also find us again on Twitter at New Dad Gaming, on Twitch at New Dad Gaming podcast. I've been recently streaming on Fridays my adventures, or some might say misadventures, on Marvel Snap. Quick side story. This is like now at the end of the level. One of the greatest parts is there's been a lot of backseat gaming while I've been playing Snap.
Okay.
But I'm in such great hands. Like, everybody who helps me out on stream are so incredibly good at Snap that I went up to level 60. And then, I'm just going to relax and play a little bit of Snap on my own. I skyrocketed to 40, 45 so fast. I lost so many games. And I'm just staring at these decks that were so powerful in the hands of people who knew what they were doing. It was stunning. Anyways, we have a great time. Any of those channels would love to hear from you. One of the greatest parts is the interactions with other gaming dads, other gamers. So do find us on all the socials and subscribe. Everyone, thank you so much for listening. This has been New Dad Gaming. And until next time, my name is Trevor, and I have an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 13-year-old and a 10-year-old.
Remember, just because you became a dad
does not mean your 13-year-old won't ask for GTA 6.
Which doesn't mean you have to buy it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's your difficult choice, bud.
But it does not mean it's game over.
Yes, sir. All right. See you next week.
See you later.